Mr. Ronnie Hill. Thank you so much for
Hello.
welcoming me
Hello.
into your home. And the first question I'm going to ask you, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, your upbringing, and how it relates to the Bush Mountain community?
Well, when I came up, like I said, my mother and father, I was raised on 1026 Bartlett Street, right in front of West Oakland Baptist Church. Uh, I was a C-section baby. I was the last of five boys. My family was a gospel family. I came up kind of with a, back then used to be a whole lot of people in our family. We had our cousins and uncles, all of them. They was I wouldn't change a thing. They had their issues, and I was the baby, so I came up around love. So it was okay, and it was about 12, 15 people in our house, and my mother was Miss Lucille Hill, my father was Mr. Tom Hill. And when they brought me home, I was crossways. They had the, what you call that, C-section. So I start from there. So when I came up, my brothers and them, I was always following them around. You had Billy next to me, and Michael. Then you had Marion. Then you had Tommy, the oldest. He was a gospel singer. He sung with the groups back in the day. The Dixon Melatones. He sung with the original Copper Crusaders and the Crossroad Gospel Singers. So I came from a gospel family. But it was very exciting, as a kid. We skated. That's after the streets were paved, because when I was born, there weren't no streets paved.
So you skated on the streets?
There was one street paved, I think that was, well, I remember when that was paved, but later on we used to have to go somewhere else to skate. I think bridges were paved. We used to skate down bridges, but I don't think Viola was paved. I know my street wasn't paved back
What
then.
street did you guys
Viola Street, right in front of West Oakland Baptist Church. Viola Street. That's down from Lumber Limber.
Can you spell that?
Yeah, Lumber, Loma. Oh man, there I go. Lumber
Y'all,
Lumber, Lomalinda, I think. Lumber Limber. That's the street up there by Hartnett. The
okay.
hill. That's that street.
Gotcha.
So it was Bridges, Lumber Limber, Violet. Then you had Dover. Then you go down Dover. Then you had Last Street. Then you cross over. You had Plaza. So really five major streets over there in that area. We called ourselves Bush Mountain. But coming up, I had a pretty good childhood. The usual, holidays, the parties and stuff. Not parties, but Christmas. Everybody get together. The extended family. Might have been had 30, 40 people there at our house at one time. We was poor, but we didn't know it. So back then we didn't know it. So, my auntie, Aunt Baybell, Uncle Bill. You had Noogie, Dean, my mother's sisters and brothers. Bro Boy, Archie B. You had all these people. My cousin, Ethel May, Ray. We had a bunch of people in our house. So when I was coming up, we skateboarded, we made wagons. You want to know about me or just the general atmosphere over there? At the time, everybody just, my older brothers and them, they went down the hill. They used to hang around, the guy down there named Jimmy. They used to go down there and, party and stuff, gambling and stuff like that. I was a little kid, but as I grew older, started playing football, baseball, stuff like that, started making wagons. Used to be in the jungle. There was a jungle behind our house. That was that Last Street? Okay, that was Dover. Yeah, that was Dover Street. We lived behind Miss Palmer or Miss Hightower and them. They was lived right there, and down through the woods and stuff. So we used to make bon airs. Me, some of my friends, Azel, Ronald, Ronald Jenkins, Azel Robinson, George Porter, who I came up with, Russell Williams, when I was a kid, So at Hartnett, that was my sanctuary. That was our sanctuary, Hartnett. Because we went up there and played baseball on the ball field down there where y'all be, you know about that. Up at the school, we played basketball. You know, we came up there. We, you know, had our little time up there. We had a basketball goal. Hartnett, it was a beautiful school at the time. When we were there, we didn't know no better. You know, we played up there and had fun. So, you know, it was a pretty good extensive childhood. So when I came up, started coming up, you know, I tried to imitate my brothers. We joined the group, the Junior Dixon Melatonin. I sung in the gospel group. Charles Moffett, uh, Charles Moffett. That's Priscilla cousin.
Yes, I heard the name Mumford
Yeah, that
in
was
some of my
Priscilla.
interviews.
That was
so.
Priscilla. That was Priscilla cousin. Fred James, Randy Hightower,
I heard that name.
Billy here. That's my brother, and it was Russell Williams. That was our group. Let me see, leaving Perry Bond. I'm from Michael Jenks, you know, so that was our group.
So were you like a tenor, alto? Or?
Yeah, I was the most of the lead singer.
Oh, you was the
time.
lead.
I was
Okay.
along with Fred and who was that? Fred and Russell. Yeah, we were the lead singers at that time. But so moving on up, you know, as I remember, my cousin then was next door, the Turner family. They had a store down there on Plaza Avenue. You know, the black store they ran. You know, Herman Turner. You know, they worked with the Parks and Recreation Department. They father, Miss Liver. You know, it was about 9 of them, 8 of them. You know, Goody, Susan, all of them doing my cousins and stuff. So they had a store. As long as they had a store and Donovan had a store. And, he was a white guy. He had a store down there on the corner. You heard of Donovan Supermarket, right? Off of Oakland Drive. So they had a store.
And do you know what the name
You
of the
can ask
Turner?
me some questions, huh?
The Turner family? Do you know what their store was called? Just like a
Oh man,
family
yeah.
store.
Oh man, I can call Goody and that stuff, but I can, you know, call you later and tell you.
Okay.
I
I think
phone.
I've heard of these stores before because.
It was right down in the
So
in the
Mr.
middle of Plaza.
Diamonds is the name of the store that was by the Jewish white people.
Yeah, the Jewish white
And
people.
then they told me the name of the other store, but it's probably in my notes somewhere. But
Yeah, you know, it was I just call it, you know, the Turner. You go down there more and we call them Turner store. That was my cousin. That was a nice store. They had the splits, they had the hot dog, they had the penny candy. You know, then they had the little parties down there, you know, where you can go dance. They had the basketball courts. You know, the first one, they had carpet down there like turf. That way everybody played basketball. You know, that's where we played at and stuff. You know, it was nice down there. You know, for a community, you know, that's where everybody went and played at.
gosh, yeah.
So, you know, as far as my mother and daddy, you know, my father, Tom Hill, he helped everybody out in the community. He got a big plaque from doing that at West Oakland Baptist Church. His plaque is put up in the church, Mr. Tom Hill. That's him as he came in. Yeah, on the wall. But we had a pretty good time, you know, at the time, you know, we was singing the choir at West Oakland. The old West Oakland, not the one they got up there. Yeah, I think I got a picture. Yeah, I know Priscilla probably showed you some old pictures of that church.
I was supposed to go back today after this interview, but we had to reschedule because she had a lot of pictures. We did not have enough time to go.
Yeah, she, you know, a lot of people, I showed her a lot of pictures that I had, you know, like on the wall of and that's at the church right there on the wall. That's the old West Oakland church. Yeah, so it was my mother and them, and that's her over there. See them people at that usher? That was about 1960, 66, 67. You know, you got me on that picture over there going in the back of the church. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. So we had a good time, you know, keep coming up. And, we had got into our little usual fights and little scrapes over there as kids do. You know, went through a lot of stuff, you know, at the time. you don't know, when your relatives die and stuff like that, you never gonna see them again. But as time went on, I wouldn't change nothing the way it was. We wasn't a perfect family, but we didn't do nothing, that nobody else didn't do. We had back then in Bush Mountain, it was like a Garden of Eden. With the plums, we could eat off the land. We had pear trees, all over. We had pear trees, plum trees, apple trees, blackberry bushes all up there, especially up there by Hartnett, up there by bridges and stuff.
So it's always been a garden, ultimately.
What, up in West Oak, up in the Hartnett?
Yes, because right now where the building was, it's a garden right there.
There's a garden right there now,
Yeah.
but there was a portables out there. That was where we went to class at.
Oh, so
Yeah,
where
that green old building that's still there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a portable. That's where we went out to portables. That's where we had class at.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we played at right there.
Mm-hmm.
So all in the front right there, Hartnett, right, we played right there called the basketball court right there, and it was one on the backside. But I think some of that Hartnett burnt down. That back building got tore down, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got tore down, but it's mainly about the same.
So when you were growing up, because I know where the ball field is right now, they recently planted some pear trees and some fruit trees and things like that. So when you were growing up, where were the natural fruit trees?
Okay, what natural fruit trees was, I'm gonna tell you, when coming down through there, them were kind of like woods. Coming through, it was a path we used to come through there. That path right there where y'all be at now, it's a fence up right now. But all along down through there, you can just be walking down the street, man. You see a peach tree, a pear tree, let's go and get it. If it's in somebody's yard, we got, had a lady named Paul Brown. They had pears on the corner of Violet. I'll tell you where it was. It was at the corner of Violet Street and Plaza Avenue. Mr. Paul Brown, all them, they had all kind of pear trees and plum trees and stuff. We had peach tree. Everybody in Bush Mountain had peach trees. I mean, you can go anywhere. Plums, Plaza. That's before they brought all them houses down through there. They brought some houses at the end of Plaza down there where, remember Dion Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
You know him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember when they brought their house and they down there on trailers on that side. But before that, that was you played baseball there, because we used to lose our ball over there. We had to go in the woods where their houses at now, and we had to go over there and find our ball. But that's for them houses. They brought them houses down. I remember when they brought them houses down where Dion and them lived.
Okay. And so those woods in the jungle that you speak about, did you know like how historic that specific one
All
was?
that, we used to play down there.
And you just used to
Cowboys and
play.
Indians. We used to play. My name called down there on that big tree down there.
Your name is on the big.
Yeah, right on that big tree coming down
The
the
beech
steps.
tree,
Yeah, that big tree down in the wood.
Mm-hmm.
As you come in Plaza, yeah, that's where we all us play Cowboys and Indians. We had the BB guns. That's where we used to play it down through there. And that was before they brought all those houses over there on that side. But Douglas Burton lived down there right by them woods. You had them Douglas Burton, you had Victoria Edmond them, you had just the Porters, you had April Clark them. Then you on up that side, you had Steve them, and you had them Bakemans on that left side where them brick homes were.
Mm-hmm.
They brought all them homes down there on that side. Then the other side, you had them Woodards. The name was Woodard. Steve them, he got a church. Their grandson got a church now. Yeah, he growed up to be a preacher. But then you had coming on up that side on Plaza, Bobby Fuller and them, Miss Rosa, and coming on down, you had we had some two-story houses on Last Street. You had two-story houses. Oh man, I can't think of the people's name, but you had a two-story house right there. Ken and them, that Russell, his mama and them lived down there on Plaza. They lived down there, so they mama and them was But there was some two-story houses down there where them churches were, where people lived. That was a long time.
Okay. So in other interviews that I had, they talked about plumbing being an issue at the school and in some of the houses. Did you guys experience any of that at your house? Did you all always have indoor plumbing?
No, cause most people over there had wells. We had a well on the side of my house, but I think when I was young, around 3-4 years old, they used to get, cause it was on the side of our house at 1026 Violet Street. Then Miss Quinn and them lived next door to us. Then you had them twins. They stayed next door to them. Then you had them Turners stayed next door to us, and Jim Brown. Then you had Paul Broughton. Stayed on down. But yeah, we had where they had to go in the well. Everybody had them wells. They had to get the water from the well, and that was around. They didn't. I don't think we got our pipes and stuff to about 63, maybe about 62, 63, something like that. But I remember they filled them. They filled them well up. My daddy and some of his friends filled that well up. Yeah, they had the plumbing issue.
Okay. That's really good to know. You said 1026 Violet Street?
That's where I was born and raised.
Born and raised.
Right in front of West Oakland Baptist Church, the old church, not the one they got me.
And what year were you born, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh yeah, I was born at the Grady Hospital. At the old Grady, not the one they
not
fixed
the new
up.
one.
Not the one they done fixed up. I was born at the old Grady.
And what year?
1959. November 4th, 1959. Yeah, I was a C-section baby. Yeah, cause I don't know if they've come from having so many before me. She had a problem. And my Billy, he was he was so small you can hold him in your hand.
And you said you were the baby of the family, you were the last one?
Yeah, the last one.
Last one.
Yeah, the last one.
And you gave me some really good information. And so, when did you move from?
I think we moved way more over there in about 70, 74. But we moved right across the street.
Oh, you didn't.
No, not across the street, but okay, you got Bridges, you got Allmount, and you got Edgefield. We moved right there.
Oh.
We didn't. So every day I was back in my right across the street. I played. We went back over there, and I hung over there every day.
And so when you
I was about 13 or 14 when I moved.
Okay, and when you all moved, was your street paved or it still wasn't?
It was paved then. I remember when they paved, cause we used to throw rocks at each other. I think our street got paved. Don't get me wrong, but let me see. Our street must have got paved when. What was it, about 60, 64, 63? Don't quote me on that, but I'm just getting an estimation, something like that.
So it sounds like y'all got y'all streets paved and plumbing and all of that stuff around.
Probably at the same, yeah, cause they had to, cause the street was being paved. You're gonna have to dig up under those. It was easy to come in there when the street was unpaved to pave out to get them pipes and stuff in there. So it was done probably at the same time. But I had an extremely wonderful childhood, man. Every day it was an adventure. We were poor, but like I said, we didn't know it. Every Christmas, every holiday, the uncles and auntie was up there. They get into it, and I thought that was exciting. To see them knock over the Christmas tree, and my dad would knock them out and drag them out. So it was fun to me, man. Back then it was, we had gardens and stuff, and we ate off the land. We had chickens and all that kind of stuff. The next door neighbor, they had goats and stuff. So, it was an exciting time. I remember that the fair used to come around over there in Lakewood. My father took us to the fair, Lakewood Fairgrounds over there. Where we. That was our big thing back then. We go to the fair every year, and it was nice. It was nice. Some of my cousins and them, and they was Junebug and them. They played baseball over there, the old baseball uniforms and stuff. So it was nice. Since I was little, they kind of looked after me. I was kind of bad. not, I was kind of bad. They throw rocks at me to run me back, because I was always trying to follow
Y'all
little
love
boy.
throwing rocks. I heard you say throw rocks.
We ain't had that
all
one
the
rocks to
time.
throw.
You said
Throwing
throw rocks about
yeah,
5
throwing
times.
rocks, man, and stuff. And, that's why all of us were good baseball players. I guess because we had
throw
no
rocks.
Yeah. I came up. We had a football team, Ronnie Thompson, and Jesse Allen. We was on their football team coming up, so we had structure. We played a couple of games. We played games every year, from the time the red uniforms, the purple uniforms, the stuff. And we had baseball team we played on, and it was a good time. It was a good time. We had our own community where everybody know each other. We kind of kept it right in our community. The other people come over, what you doing over here and stuff, so it was kind of like that.
So I know it was a lot of, not controversy, but Bush
Go ahead,
Mountains.
open up. Go ahead and
Bush
talk. Go
Mountain-
ahead and say whatever
Bush
you
Mountains
want to
for
ask
black-
me. Go ahead and ask.
Bush Mountains for black people, and in the surrounding areas like Oakland City was for the white people. Did you have any experience? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Did you not not go over to Richland?
No,
Road
we went over there.
Oh, you went over there?
Yeah, of course we went over there. I remember my first experience with them. With white people and stuff. We used to kind of go over there for Halloween because the Better Candy was over there. They had them sneaker bars, Hershey's, all that kind of stuff. So when we went over there, we come to the houses and stuff, they'd be looking crazy and stuff. So, we still was, had our, wasn't no costume we buy at the store. We get our mom and dad old clothes and shoes and put flour on our face, with the lips, with the stuff, because we didn't have the money. We dressed up with the big hats, see us coming at the night,
You did.
Because back then, my mother she had raised people way older than me. My mother passed in 2018, and she was 98. And she had raised grown people before that was a miracle that I was born. She had already raised a crop of people. So by the time she got to me, she was wore out.
She was tired.
She was tired. So I got to get away with a lot of stuff. And so I followed the older crew. So I'm the last one, the dog catch me. They leave me, let the dog bite me.
Ooh.
All that kind of stuff. So you know how it is when little brother trying to keep up with big brother.
Trying to do stuff you're not supposed to.
Yeah, there you go. But I wouldn't change. Yeah, I had experience with white people. Not like my older brother and them did when they used to have to fight to go to school over there at Brown High. They high school was named Brown High Rebels. And then later on they changed to Brown High Jaguars. My cousin them, Ray Sneed and Ethel May and all them kind of people. My brother and them, they had to kind of fight to go across that bridge at Brown High School. So it was a white school basically. And then after a while they changed it, to Jaguar. But it was it was some racial stuff going on. So I'm glad that I came through it. I probably didn't see it like they did, but I caught some of it too.
Okay. I was because I'm doing this oral history project to make sure the history of y'all community will not get erased. Because there's a lot.
They coming.
It's a lot of gentrification that's happening right now.
I know.
And so I'm trying to, collect all the stories from elders in the community or community science because West Atlanta Watershed Alliance, the organization that I work for, that's at the bottom, like right there on Richland Road, that building right there with the parks and everything. Their goal is to have community science, and throughout the years they've been getting data and getting the participating of the community to actually better and take that to legislation. So a lot of people in the Richmond community have been getting like solar panels because we've been able to connect them and get their emissions down and things like that. But at the same time, you can't stop people from buying houses and
no, you
white
can't.
people from
No,
coming in.
you can't stop them from coming. But I remember when the places they live in, they coming into now, like the West End and you know, the McDaniel, where my uncle and them used to live over there on McDaniel Street, and even Decatur. Cause you know, as a kid, you went all over. My auntie, Aunt Jude, and them, we used to go out there every Christmas around, you know, 6 to 8, 6 to 7. You know, when I was young, and you know, them you couldn't get them white people to stay in certain areas, especially in the West End. It was so run, you know, kind of like running. Now they, especially up there on Peter Street, where you see all the restaurants and stuff. They don't want to live up there.
And now I see.
Now you see they coming in.
And now I see them jogging and walking their dogs
Walking their
and
dog.
stuff,
Yeah,
like right in the
you know,
community.
Police protection, like even over there in Bush Mountain. Wasn't no white. I never did think that we would see white people over there like that.
They over there right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they coming over there with their values and stuff, and you know, when most time when they come in, they want to push out. See, but that's why it's so important for the legislation and the politicians, you know, that don't accept the money, just believe in the seniors, especially the seniors that still have their homes. Try to help them keep staying in their home.
And that's
don't let them run. Don't let them people raise the taxes up where they can't live over there anymore.
And that's what our organization tries to do, because a lot of the seniors are not educated because things are going
They're
so.
losing their place.
Things are going so fast, like especially with the internet and all of these things are happening, and they, you know.
You can buy a home from California.
You
just
can
get on the internet. They come out. Somebody
and
over
then they
there
come right there.
Right.
Or even like a lot of people are getting updated on their houses, and that's why, or they like, you know, they're tearing down the houses and they're building new houses because it's a lot of things that aren't healthy anymore, like the lead paint or like some of the stoves and things like that. So our organization tries to, you know, inform people in the community, and me personally, I'm just trying to, you know, savor this history and trying to pass it on to generation to generation and say, this is sacred land. This community is a black community, and before, white people could not come here. This community was filled with people who loved each other, people who cared about each other. They had their own school, they had their own everything. And, you know,
it wasn't the best life, but it was our life. It was just like when you hear. Now you probably ain't heard this before, but when you hear, cause I'm a part-time comedian too, but I'm being serious. But when you ever heard of Mayberry, like on Andy Griffin, Bush Mountain, we had all that, but it was black.
Oh.
So we had all that. Oakland City and Bush Mountain hung out together, but Bush Mountain was our own separate community, cause we had our own values. You know, everybody knowed each other. The same stuff that how them white people came up, stuff like that. We wanted them same values, but and then we fought through the racism at the same time. You know, the old school books, hand-me-downs, stuff like that. While they got the new stuff. So it's a cycle, you know. So hopefully y'all generation can make things different. You know, sometimes you got to get your head, not you, out there rap and realize what's really that's what they want you to do. The white executives, they want people to, you know, put down their pen or women, y'all, and you know exactly why they make billions and millions of dollars. But since you done made all that money off of these kind of situations, down degrading our women, so let me see what you're gonna do about bringing it back up, cherishing our women, because the kind of mama I had, she ain't never been scared. You know, so I thank y'all. That's why you know, y'all queens to me. You know, you making money off this rap stuff. So what you gonna put back in to bring the community back up? So you done dog the women out. So what you gonna do about bringing the community, teaching our young black boys how to respect our women? So it's a two-way street.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, I thank you for sharing. You gave me so much information, and like I appreciate like your story and you sharing and opening it up to me. I did have a question.
Ask me anything.
Because you just said something. I was like, I have a question about that. So do you know about the outdoor activity center? Like, were you around when that building first got built?
Yeah, we used to come over through there when it first got built. And, you know, the white people, I don't know who they started, but I know when they came down through there, they just seen some wood. So, we got these knives. Anybody know this so? But we had played in them wood for years. It's just the fact that nobody in our community, cause we be around, we stayed in them day in and day out. you know, but I guess they didn't. I guess they figured out we gonna come in here and we gonna get try to take. I don't know if they trying to take it or what, but they didn't want to. You know, that was that was our domain. And then when they started coming in, you know, they started trying to, you know, I guess to get the stuff rolling. But you know, it's a difference. It's a difference now. You know, when they come in, you have to be careful. You have to be careful of stuff. You know, you have to make sure you get stuff documented. Or else they gonna take it.
So you were there when the building was first there?
Oh yeah.
And did you go down there and play or anything?
I've been in there a couple of times.
You've been there
Yeah, I've been in there a couple years ago. I've been in there and played a couple of times, and you know, young and stuff, but didn't know what was happening because they didn't, you know, they wouldn't just, you know, just like they didn't try to just take over there. You know, they was just coming surveying at the time, and they seen all these pretty woods. Cause them woods we go from way from what is this? Orlando to Avon. It was a way you can get up to Avon. You go through all them wood. We made them paths and stuff, them trails. We did them trails as kids. You know, I mean, it used to be creeks down in there with water. We used to go down there and catch crayfish.
You used to catch crayfish?
Yeah, crayfish were down there with big ponds. Before they had them bridges, wasn't no bridge right there. When they came in, they built that little bridge and stuff right there, but wasn't nothing right there. We used to, especially down here on the other end by Plaza, we used to block that off and swim in there. Swim down there coming through bridges, that creek right there, that come right there, we blocked that off. And then the one down there, where them tunnel store used to be, my cousin, there, we blocked that off because you make it, before the sewer get there, we blocked that off and swim in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was down there by the store. That was we swam at. There was a brink that go all the way down through by Richmond. Cause there was a path all the way down through there, by Richmond down through there. That's where we used to go. We cut through it to Richmond Road.
So I remember what I was going to tell you. So even like on the map, and I can even show you, because this bothers me so much. It bothers me that you know how they have all the communities on the maps, like, oh, this is the West End community, this is this community, this is that community. It bothers me that they don't have Bush Mountain.
Yeah, it's sad.
So,
let me see.
You see how this says Oakland City, Oakland City community, the West End community. They got all this community, that community. It bothers me that they don't have Bush Mountain. Yeah, and it should be right over here.
We didn't like that. I don't know what's gonna take place. It's gonna be that councilwoman name. I just named. I got her card. And
yeah, cause it's right over here. Cause this is y'all. This is the jungle, the whole forest. That's Richland.
What the jungle?
Right here, all this green that you see.
Yeah.
That's the woods and the forest that y'all are always in.
That's where they didn't want to come to. That's where before they didn't want that. Now they see they coming into the city. People coming from all over the world. They see this vegetation. Man, you know they like them woods.
And then you said this Violet Street right here. This is Plaza. This is where you grew up at, right here. And it should say.
Remember, that's how you spell it. That's Lama. What Violet that?
Right here.
Yeah, that's me. That's where I was born.
And this right here, it should say Bush Mountain.
That should say Bush Mountain.
It should say Bush Mountain.
We trying to get that straight now.
Yes, and also we're trying.
It's not Oakland City, it's Bush Mountain.
Yes.
We don't want to be affiliated. Oakland City cool. We know people close, but this our Bush Mountain.
Because even right here, so you said it was a jungle behind your house. So this is the jungle that you were speaking about. All of this.
Right here, hold it. Right here, behind him. Let me see. I don't know which way. I think it's go this way. Behind our house, it was a jungle went from right here to Plaza. You can come play. It was a road down through there back in the day. It was a street. On Plaza, yeah. Paul Broadnum house was right here. You go this way. That was Bobby Fuller and them house right there on top of that hill. But it was a street that go down through there back in the day to go to Plaza on this side. But them brick houses on the other side of Plaza, they wasn't there yet. They wasn't there yet.
Okay.
They built them houses.
So I feel like just like because I think geography is very, 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 very important. If you look up Bush Mountain on the internet, nothing will pop up, but it's not recognized.
It need to be.
But if you type in Oakland City, which is right here, oh, that's recognized. And that's we're also trying to get a historic landmark as well to actually recognize you all in your
That's the
community and
thing.
what you were
That's
doing.
because a lot of people.
Because the West End has a historic landmark. Oakland City does as well. So why doesn't Bush Mountain right here have one?
We should have one. We should have one coming to as you turn into Plaza. We should have one right there. We should have one right there, and you know it need to be documented, as cause you know a lot of people. You know we were like the Wild Wild West. We started. I mean seriously, my brother and them, my uncles and them, my cousin and them. I mean it was literally guns and knives, all they tamed. Like the white, you hear them stories on TV about them cowboys? Bush Mountain with that. I can tell you some stories. My cousin them, you know, he got shot, ran up into our back door. I'm about 5, 6 years old. I didn't know, back then, I was young, I got into it with Oakland City, going over there messing around with women, stuff like that. So, Kenny, my cousin Kenny, came in the back door where, he had got shot, so he retaliated, went back over there. All that kind of stuff like this that's history. That's history. That need to be known that, Bush Mountain had our own history.
You had your own.
Yeah. So I'm talking about back in the, I think my mother and them and father, we came over there in 1950. That's when they came over there they bought their house in 1950 because they had lived down there in Conley. Now, my father from Monroe and my mother from Conley, and white people burnt my mother and father's house down there because they were jealous. My father and them had all them hogs and stuff. They had horses, and they burnt the house out. And so they came up here to Bush Mountain, but it wasn't nothing but dirt road. So yeah, that's history.
Is there anything else that wanted to share or show me before I can cut this off? And then if you have any pictures or
do I have any pictures? It's just that like books that my mother used to be like the ushers at West Oakland, where they still got where she was paying the dues and stuff like them kind of books and stuff like that. But I might have some in here. I can show you some pictures on the wall and stuff. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, that's my father over there.